What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Here it is, Talaria Sting MX5. We've been waiting for this bike just like a ton of you guys have, and here it is. It's ready to go and ready to be tested. So in this video we have drag races, top speed runs with GPS. These drag races are against the other top of the line models that you guys care about. And then we're gonna head out on a real off-road trail ride. We're gonna drain the battery, really give it a run for its money. If we don't cover exactly what you want to see in this first video, don't worry because we have a ton more coming. We're going to be doing, our next video is a full range test, side by side with an Eride Pro SS, because I know that's what everybody wants to see. Then we're going to be doing a true head-to-head Sting MX5 versus Eride Pro SS, off-road, range, everything that you guys care about. And we're going to do another dedicated video going over every aftermarket part that fits on this bike. As soon as we're done filming these first couple videos, we're going to tear this thing apart, figure it out, see what's different really between the older Sting models and this one. And then we're gonna have a category on our website, tbelectricmoto.com, called Sting MX5, and you guys can go check out all the parts that you know are gonna fit because we will have tried them. Here is the new Talaria Sting MX5. We got it all assembled and built. That process went super smooth. We've built a lot of bikes on this channel, but I think that Talaria's quality honestly speaks for itself. I think it is better than a lot of the other bikes that we unbox, and that was no difference here with the MX5. We also noticed a lot more differences on this bike compared to the older Talaria Sting R. So let's go over some specs now. We have a new 72 volt 40 amp hour battery that is higher voltage and higher capacity, which should mean more power and more range. This bike is rated at 13.4 kilowatts peak power, and it now has 3 drive modes: Eco, Sport, and Hyper, which I think is fantastic. I think we're getting into the power numbers where we need more than 2 drive modes to make it so we can have the right amount of power for the type of terrain that we're riding in, especially where we like to ride in these huge mountains behind us, which we'll do later in the video. Okay, so we've got power and battery out of the way. We do have new front forks. These are wider and beefier, and we have a new wider and beefier front wheel and hub, along with a new 220 mil 3 mil thick brake rotor and a new massive set of DOT rated brakes. These are absolutely a huge difference just from riding it around the neighborhood. About 2 miles that I've done so far, these are way more powerful. They still have great modulation, and you'll see the size comparison compared to the older brakes. Here we have some new upgraded foot pegs. These are a major difference compared to the older Talaria model. We also have the same style gear reduction system that Talaria has previously used, except for it is way more beefed up, and you can tell by actually looking in here. The shaft is bigger, the case is bigger, and I think it's gonna be even more robust than the older Talaria Sting R. Moving to the back of the bike, we now have a 428 chain, which is larger than the previous 420. This is gonna have less stretch and be stronger and more robust. We also have this chain guide, and we move to a larger 48 tooth rear sprocket instead of the older 44 tooth on the previous Talaria models. It appears that the rear shock is the same as the Talaria Sting R, apart from a new progressive rate spring. So this is 550 to 850 pounds. So we're very curious to actually see how that feels and performs when we off-road the bike. We also have a new seat design and angle. I believe there is some changes in the subframe here. I don't know for sure, but it is definitely a different angle and looks a lot more comfortable. I know you guys are super anxious to see a drag race, so without further ado, let's drag race this and that. All right guys, drag race time. I'm on the Eride Pro SS, totally stock. Reed's on the Sting MX5. We both weigh the exact same. And Alex is on the stock Talaria Sting R. 2, 1, go! All right, he is pulling hard. Dang. Same bike, same people. Here we go. 1, go. Oh, he's still pulling. Sting R's gone. Both me and Reed popped a pretty good wheelie right at the start, but then he was gone. Okay, now we're gonna do a drag race with me and Reed on the same bikes, but he's gonna be in sport mode instead of hyper mode and see how this goes. I haven't seen anybody try this, so 2, 1, go. No way! Whoa! I got him by a little. Not much though. Dang. Okay, that was really close. Okay, that is very interesting. So sport mode on the Sting MX5 is very, very close to the Eride full power sport mode. Hey, that is awesome. Okay, it's time to weigh the bikes. We're gonna do an Eride Pro SS first. This is our weight setup. We have our hydraulic jack to make this nice and easy. Here we go.
Okay. We're off, okay?
Okay, we're off the ground. 145.2 pounds. Okay. That's heavier than I was remembering. All right, Talaria Sting R, totally stock, same as the Eride. All right, 152.4 pounds. All right, here's the MX5. It should be the heaviest, but we don't know how heavy. All right, here we are, MX5, 170 pounds. That is a good chunk heavier, but it has a lot of changes, so it's not super surprising.
Hey, Talaria MX5 top speed run.
Hyper mode, full charged. Here we go. All right, nice.
Okay, Lance, how'd you do?
This thing is fast. Like real fast.
It looked fast.
We did 60.8 miles an hour.
There you go.
So that's fantastic. We were on maybe a 1% decline, but pretty dang close to flat. And I could tell that there was like a line where it wouldn't go any faster, like some sort of RPM limit, right? Where maybe if you geared the bike down, it could go a few miles an hour faster. It just hit that and just held right at 60 miles an hour. That's super awesome. I think that's the fastest any bike has gotten to 60 that we've tested as far as a stock bike. So nice job, MX5. All right guys, it is time to go and actually do a real proper ride on the new MX5. One of my favorite things to do is night ride, so we're doing that tonight, but I had to switch out one thing to make that possible. Most of you guys probably already know, it's the headlight. Stock headlight is garbage, like literally garbage. I'm not just doing that on the camera, that is gonna stay in there. I'm not keeping that. This is our Gigago light. If you guys are interested in a super bright light, it's the best. And we're gonna take this baby out for a real proper night ride. And then tomorrow we're gonna continue this video with a good daytime ride and go over how the bike actually feels and performs when you're using it on a daily basis. Other than the light, it is totally stock. Apart from the GPS, where I'll track my ride and I was doing the top speed runs with. I've never really tried to film a video at night. And with this new light, I think it's actually could be possible. Whoa. So far, one of the biggest deals on this bike is the battery is not rattling. Their new lid design seems to be working really well. The one thing slowing me down is just mainly the front tire. It's just so small and slick, and I can just feel it kind of dancing around compared to what I'm used to. This bike is really pushing it for me. It's doing it for me, you guys. Oh, that corner always comes out of nowhere. Oh yeah. The throttle has a lot of pep to it, low down. A lot of torque. Oh, there was a snake right there. I wonder if it was alive or dead. I'm gonna turn around right here. Wow, these brakes really stop. Could have been a rattlesnake. Dang, I can't see him. Who likes tarantulas? Look at that bad boy right there. He's real big. Probably like, I don't know, 4 inches across. He's bad. All right, mid-ride update. The bike is doing great. I just softened up the rear suspension, like 2 clicks, that's all there was. I pretty much was already almost all the way soft, so I was hoping it could go a little softer than that, but we'll see how that feels after a couple more rides. The fork I have set pretty much mid-range, which is great. I can go softer, I can go harder. We've done 11.5 miles and climbed 2,400 feet of climbing, and we're at 58%. So we're honestly not doing too bad. So we're gonna keep going up though and try to do a similar route that I did the other night, that I can get a really good idea of range. Whoa! Holy, that was a porcupine. This has been an eventful, oh, that was another tarantula. Freak, oh, there's a bird. Dude. Oh man, my heart just dropped. That scared me a little bit. That would have sucked so freaking bad, dude. Getting quilled everywhere, just like, if I would have like hit my brakes and crashed onto that thing, oh my gosh. All right, quick update. We're back on pavement. We're at 22.2 miles, 3,000 feet of climbing, hour and 22 minutes. We're at 30% battery, so we're gonna cruise on home. Okay, here's one of my favorite things about Talaria versus most of the other brands. We're at 18% battery, and I can still haul. Let's put it in hyper. Here we go. All right, so I just went 51 miles an hour on flat ground at 16% battery. Thank you, Talaria, for doing that. It's braking good and hard down this real steep hill. Wow, that is really good regen. 2%, 13 miles an hour up this hill. We probably do 20 on flat. But we did great range, 33 miles, 3,800 vertical feet of climbing, hour and 42 minutes. Great. Okay, we're at 2%. She's still alive, but going slow. There it is, air 38. That means dead. And we are back. It's the next morning. All right, I just put it in hyper mode. Let's give this hill a run for its money here. Whoa, whoa, holy freak. Jeez, this thing has so much power. Holy. All right, let's talk about this bike off-road. One, I think the range is great. I really am not worried. I don't know why everyone is so worried about the range. Our next video will be a full-blown range test like we do, with all the variables taken care of, right next to an Eride Pro SS, so you guys can see how it performs right side by side. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is the weight of this bike. Yes, it's 170 pounds. Does it feel like it or ride like it? I don't think so. This bike has drastically more power. Like everybody that's saying online that it's like the same as an Eride Pro, it is not. As I'm riding this, I'm pretty much going as fast as I can on this section of trail that the bike's capable of. If I had even better suspension, I could go faster. If I had bigger tires, I could go faster. But what I don't need to go faster is more power. All right. Whew. We are way up the mountain. We've already climbed 3,000 vertical feet. We've only ridden 5 miles. We're at 67%. This bike also has the strongest regen just on its off. Whoa! That was a snake. There he is. See a rattlesnake? Oh, he is. This throttle is really, really smooth and nice. I really like it. I think they did a better job than they did on the MX4. I can't wait to get just a couple of upgrades on this bike, because it's gonna transform it. Wow. Dang, these brakes are great. I just had to do a little brake check there. Let's look at this view. Dang. All right, guys, we are almost at the top of the mountain, and as I get close to wrapping up this video, let's just share some more thoughts on the MX5. So I've spent enough time on it now that I really have a good feeling for how it rides, and to be honest, it rides very, very similar to the other Talaria models I've owned. I've owned a Sting MX3, a Sting MX4. I sold my MX3 with over 4,000 miles on it, and my MX4 I still have, and it's got several thousand, and I now have, you know, every other E-moto on the market pretty much for this channel to test. Me and Reed and Alex are always, you know, trying new bikes, comparing them, and the Talaria rides very much like I expected it to. The brakes I think are fantastic. They really knocked it out of the park with the brakes. Everyone's talking about them, and rightfully so. I love the way the lever feels. It's got tons of adjustment. I have it set up pretty far in so I can one finger brake, and that is working well. They're not overheating even on these steep downhill trails. So honestly, the power of this bike is exceptional. 13.5 kilowatts. I don't need or even want any more in 90% of situations that I would ride this bike. Sure, on the street, it's nice to have a little bit more than that, but also who cares? Like, it has plenty. The throttle feels super smooth. I love all three riding modes. I think Eco, Sport, and Hyper all have their place and provide a great riding experience. Last night I rode in all three. I was riding in Hyper on the faster sections. I was riding in Sport on the tight single track. And on the downhill, I'd pop it in Eco, so my throttle was super smooth and stable for going downhill where I wasn't using much power. So I think they did a great job with that. I think the range is just fine. Everybody worried about the range. Don't worry about it. We're about to go do a range test later today, so stay tuned for that, where we can actually compare it to every other model side by side. But so far, I'm not worried about the range. It's performing just like the size of battery that it is. I also really don't mind the 170 pounds that this bike weighs. It just doesn't feel it when you ride it. It feels nimble and flickable and fast. It has the power to easily make up for that. Where, like, if you're riding a stock Surron with 6 kilowatts and if it weighed 170 pounds, yes, it wouldn't ride very good because it just doesn't have any power to make up for the weight. But this does. So that being said, guys, I think this bike is great. I think it's an absolute bargain at $4,700. I'm just going to talk about a couple of upgrades and modifications that I would do if I was buying this bike, because even though it's so close to perfect, it's just not quite there. There's like 4 or 5 things for me that would just make this bike perfect and that I'd be satisfied with. So if I was buying this bike and if I was keeping it mostly stock but wanted to spend a couple $100, do a few things, I would do upgraded tires front and back. I'd probably do a Tusk ground wire in the rear and either a Tusk ground wire in the front or something with a little more volume, maybe a Dunlop MX34. Just because I ride in the mountains like this, I just need more traction and a little more air volume in the front. Makes a big difference. Pegs, I think, are great. I wouldn't change them. They're fantastic. Handlebar, I'm 6'3", so I would raise that up. I'd do a tall 3-inch raised handlebar, Warp 9, and then on my list would also be a direct mount stem and a stem lock at some point. That would be a little bit further down the road. And then I would do an upgraded headlight like this Gigago because I ride about 50% of the time at night in the mountains. So super bright light for me. I think that adds up to be in the $400 to $500 range of upgrades. Yes, that's some money, but I think $4,700 plus, $500 in upgrades, probably some handlebar grips for $9. That's going to make this bike be perfect for me, and I would look no further. I don't need more power. I don't need a controller. I don't need a battery necessarily. For the money that this is, it's absolutely amazing. I think the wheels are extra robust. It's got tons of torque. The seat position is way better than the Sting R and the MX3. So I think they knocked it out of the park with this bike. And yeah, I would buy this bike. I'd buy it over any other model that's out on the market right now. All right, I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up this video so that we can head home, charge the bike up, and head out and do a range test, because I think that is what everybody's waiting for. So we're gonna put it against an Eride Pro SS. Me and Reed weigh pretty much the exact same. We're gonna ride side by side and check out the range on the new MX5. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys need any upgraded parts, check out our online store, tbelectricmoto.com. We'll get you set up. Use discount code TalariaBoys. And if you already have an MX5, we already have a section for the parts that we know fit all the upgraded options. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next video. See ya.